Hi, this is Evan from Evan Writes Cars. Today I am in the 2016 Mazda 6 with the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. I'm not sure exactly what trim it is. I didn't get the sticker for this one, but it's got white perforated leather seats. It's got radar cruise control. It's got lane assist, lane guidance. So it's got navigation, so it's pretty high. It's very well equipped. First thing I want to mention about the Mazda 6 is that it is a really great transmission. This is the automatic. It's a 6-speed, but it may be the best automatic transmission I've ever used. The big thing is it does not hunt for gears. You hit the gas, it downshifts once and goes. It downshifts almost dual clutch fast, faster than most people can do with a manual. But it just picks one gear and it goes. There's no hunting, there's no double, there's no downshift, wait, go. It's just downshift, go. It's the same thing on the way up. Doesn't hunt around, doesn't go back and forth, just picks a gear, makes up its mind. In sport mode, it will actually hold it in gear until you, well, in a corner, it'll hold it in gear until you straighten out the steering wheel, which is really nice. There's nothing worse than, hunting around in the middle of a corner. But this won't do that. This is definitely the sportiest of all of the mid-size sedans. If you're looking at a Fusion, or you're looking at Malibu, or you're looking at an Accord, or you're looking at a Camry, and you want to drive, this is the one you want. The steering is well weighted. The power's good. You've heard that, just one downshift and go. Suspension is remarkably well damped. It's soft over bumps. You don't hear them come crashing through. But it's well controlled. It's never floaty. It's always responsive. It's not upset by mid-corner expansion joints or bumps or anything like that. It just sticks. It just goes. And it feels really good to drive. Like I said, it's more fun than any other mid-size sedan. It's more enjoyable to drive than most of the other cars I've driven this year. The MX-5 being a notable exception to that. And it's fairly clear that these two cars were engineered and were tuned by the same people, or at least with the same philosophy. While this isn't as light as the MX-5, obviously, it's still a fairly light car. You notice that in the handling. It's more tossable than you would expect. You notice it, the doors. The doors are actually quite light to close, but they don't sound, they're light, but they're not tinny. There's nothing worse than slamming a door and it sounds like you've just broken something because it's a thin, tinny, kind of piece of crap. And there's still some modern vehicles out there that are like that, especially some of the new tiny SUVs. They have some quite flimsy sounding doors. As a result of the lightweight, this car is a little bit noisier inside than some of the competition. It's never intrusive, it's never annoying. It's there, but it's not, it's not going to drown out conversation, it's not going to drown out the radio. Not that it could. This has an 11-speaker Bose stereo that, well, it doesn't have a whole lot of bass, is quite clear and quite loud when you want it to be. This car feels very big inside. There's a lot of space on both sides, but you're not sitting down in it. It's still a fairly light greenhouse, especially by modern standards. I'm still able to put my elbow on the door sill, which is getting more and more difficult by the model year. Even the back seat has enough room for me to sit behind myself comfortably. This car has a sunroof, but there's still enough headroom for for someone my height or my size. This car really encourages you. Said more than the competition. This car really encourages you to toss it around on a back road like this. Now I'm not on the windiest part of the road right now. Of course, when I was on the really windy part, I was behind a tour bus. That's the way it works, especially when you're coming back from Peggy's Cove. It's a great road, usually tour buses. And because it's a great road, they're not moving quickly. But what can you do? It's better than traffic. Alright. Let's take a break back there for a second. Rented a digital film. That's what happens when you forget to delete old videos. But it worked out well because I stopped for lunch. Got a 1.5 foot long cinnamon bun, so that's good. And what I hope will be a delicious smoked meat sandwich. It right now is smelling up the car and it smells wonderful. And it's making me really hungry. But I have to wait till I get home. Wait till I finish filming. The Mazda 6 is a really fun, I already mentioned it, it's a really fun car to drive. It's nimble for its size. You're not tossing it around like an FRS or, probably more nimble than a Camaro, though. Maybe not the new ones. But, it's still fun. It still tosses around. This one's got 19-inch wheels, which normally completely ruin the ride, and kind of the handling and kind of the braking. But, because they're heavy. In this case, I'm not sure if they're just lightweight wheels, or if it's just really good suspension tuning for the 19-inch wheels, but ride's great. Handling's great. Braking is excellent. It just does everything you want it to do. It's just fun to drive. Mazda goes on in their ads now. If you enjoy driving, there's the cars you want. And for once, it's more than just marketing hype. This car actually is. It's enjoyable. It's fun to drive. I would like to go for another hour if I had time. Unfortunately, I do not have time, and I have a mileage limit. So, you do what you can. Go over some of the features in this. Like I said, it has a Bose stereo, 11 speakers. It has XM available, as well as Pandora, Stitcher. If you subscribe to those and you want to use the data on your phone. It has navigation. Mazda's navigation system, and Mazda's whole infotainment system is one of the better ones to use. It's a combination of a touch screen. There's a big controller knob in the console. The controller knob is exactly where my hand sits when my arm's on the armrest. So it works exceptionally well. It's really easy to use. Turn the knob, push the top, run it back and forth. There's a back button. There's a button for the radio. There's a button for navigation. There's a button for the home screen. It's simple. It's easy. You can use it no problem at all just with the knob. You don't need to use a touchscreen. It locks some of the features out while you're moving, but that's becoming more and more common. You shouldn't be using it while you're moving to enter street addresses anyway. Pay attention to the road, as it were. But this has heated perforated leather seats, which I did not realize were on. I was wondering why I've been so warm. That's my fault, not the car. The indicator's right up above the air conditioning, so I definitely should have noticed it. There's dual zone air conditioning. There is adjustability on the vents for the rear seat. There are paddle shifters on the steering wheel. I recommend that you don't bother because the transmission shifts faster by itself than it does with the paddles. There's a bit of a delay. I'll hit the paddle. Yeah, there's a bit of a delay before it shifts. That's not there if you just hit the gas. It's a start button, push start, proximity keyless entry. The push start button's in a very strange spot. It's actually way up here on the top of the dash. But I guess they didn't really have anywhere else to put it. It's a strange spot, but once you get used to it, it's not annoying. Telescoping steering wheel, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6-way power adjustable seat, passenger seat as well, with a lumbar adjustment. Never been a huge fan of those, but I know a lot of people are, so this car has it. There's a heads-up display that gives you speed, cruise control setting, gives you the radar cruise control information, and actually gives you turn-by-turn directions for the navigation. It'll show up with a little arrow on the heads-up display for the direction you need to go, and for kind of how close it is. It'll give you an actual distance, but the arrow will also get longer or shorter, which is pretty handy. This car has a sunroof, but look at that. Lots of room. I could almost put my helmet on in here, which is pretty rare for any car these days, especially one with a sunroof. Alright, so I guess that will conclude my review of the 2016 Mazda 6. In short, if you want a good riding, excellent handling midsize sedan, one that's got as much room as the rest, is a lot sportier than the rest, and is still quiet and comfortable, I wouldn't look any further than this. If you need a little bit more power, the V6 is still available. If you want a manual, you can get the 4-cylinder with them. I believe you can still get it with manual. I should double check that, and I will. So in summary, Mazda 6, the sportiest midsizer. Thank you for joining me on another Evan Writes Cars video review. See you next time.